Okay, we're doing a Kerdi shower, and probably should have showed you before I got started on it. When you're doing your drain, well, look right there. When you're doing your drain, you can get two different kits. This one here, they both look similar, but they're very different. This one here, you know, it's got all the junk. It's a retrofit for one of these guys right here. That is an original style vinyl pan drain setup. And what you do is you'll wind up, that'll be in place because the plumber put it in place, and this goes on that, and this mortars down into that, and I don't use them. If I can get away with it, and we're in like a new construction, kind of like right now, I glue mine directly into the pipe because it's just better all the way around. It's a direct connect. You don't have to beat out the concrete to get that set down. You don't have to build your mud bed up too high. You don't have to raise your curb up too high. And you know, they come with all this, you know, they come with all your literature and your instructions and a couple of other little doodads. But for the most part of it, people tell you to, if you get on YouTube, they're very vague on how to do it. They'll tell you to put you a mud Thinset under it and all of that mess. You don't have to do that. Where we're at, they leave big holes in it, so we have to concrete them in. It's very hard to keep coming back, going and coming back. So what I do is I go ahead and get it, use PVC glue and get it glued back down to the desired height, which mine is 3/4. And then I'll pack my mud. I'll make it a little wet, and then I'll pack it in there. And what I do, they say you can't do it, but you can. You can get you one of these. Man, that's 3/4. I'm a little higher than 3/4. Because when the plumbers put the pipe in, they put it in there a little crooked, and I like making sure my drain's level. And I just tap that wet mud around in there and get it set. You know, and then you just take your hand and clean it up real good. Make sure you don't, you know, tape your hole off. Don't get none of this mud in your drain because you'll make a mess and it'll clog it up, and then you'll really be in trouble. And this is for the quick DIY. You see we already got our flange in. It's a Sluter PVC direct glue to pipe. We have right here, I got two different kinds. This one here is a retrofit, and if you got one of them in your shower, if your plumber's already set that and you don't want to bust your concrete up and stuff, you'll get a retrofit. And what it has, it's got all this stuff in it right here that hooks to the top of this drain right there, and it allows for your, see your little grid, your grate, allows for it to slide down in there properly. If you don't have the right drain and you glue it in there, you've done made a mistake. So make sure that what you got says that it is it's a direct glue. It'll say it on the box, PVC drain. That's what you're looking for if you're going to directly glue it to the pipe. And that 2x4 back there, I'm kind of in a hurry because I'm running out of daylight. But if you're new to it, you need to make sure you got a good straight board. A straight edge would be best. But you can take a 2x4 like that and get it level, and you can use that to make your screeds all the way around your wall, about 4 or 6 inches, depending on how big your shower is. Your foundation going on about, if you don't get it right, you'll have to come back and do a lot of extra work that you don't want to do. But get your foundation right, get your drain and your slope and everything good. And that way when you get your floor done, you can come in and just take off laying your tile. So just always remember, your foundation is key to a good job. Okay, like I said, this is I'm kind of cheating right now. I mean, don't get in any bad habits, but I'm in a hurry. Your foundation is the key to a good job. You know, if you start off crooked, everything's gonna be crooked. So you gotta make sure your floor is in good shape. But see, this is not level. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna build it up with a little bit of this mud here. We're gonna use this 2x4 as a screed and get us a good straight flat spot back here in the back. Get us a good flat screed. We're gonna do that all the way around. The first thing you need to do is you need to take your level. You make sure you got a good drain. There's a drain. You know, most people who build showers all the time, every day, they know what I'm talking about. But if you look here at that level, that's, you know, make sure you got a good drain. You don't want too much now. You put too much on it, it'll pull all the water out of your P-trap down there, and then you really have a mess on you. So I think it's about a quarter inch per so many feet. I'll look it up and tell you. I just do it now. I don't even pay attention to it no more, but I know about what I'm looking for and what I want. So, but anyhow, keep going. Now this right here, I've got it measured out on the wall. You know, I got me a little mud dirt, I keep it in spot. But this right here, you just take a little bit of water. It's called doping it in. That's what we used to do back years ago. Old timers, that's how they used to do it. You have a little bit of water. Oh, I gotta get my bag of mud. They do it a little different now. Some people use Thinset, and you can do it all kind of ways. But this is the way I was taught. This is the way I know, so this is how I'm doing it. But all you do is, if you're gonna use your mud, you'll wet it down like I did right there. And you can, a lot of the old timers I helped around with, they just used Portland cement. They mixed it in with it. So it kind of makes it slurry and makes it bond to it better. So, but if you want to mix a Thinset and pull it with a trowel, you can do that too. I find it too messy. I don't want to get in there on it. So, but you do what works best for you. Now a lot of other people gonna probably leave bad reviews or something. That's fine. I don't care. The thing in doing any kind of job is you find something that works easier for you, works best for you. Now look, smooth and level. Ain't nobody's gonna argue with that. That's smooth and level, and I'm not killing myself to do it. You know, when I first started out, they only want you using a level. Use a level for everything, nothing else. But you take that thing right there, and don't forget to pack it down. A lot of people just want to take their trowel and rub across it, make it smooth and pretty. Well, that's fine if it looks good, but if it ain't gonna hold up, there ain't no use in doing it. Alright, see that bubble? Ain't nothing wrong with that, is it? It's pretty much straight. Didn't take me but 5 minutes. Just keep going. Another thing, hot and humid as it is on a day like today, mix your mud up in batches. It's best to have 2 people helping you. Like I said, I'm by myself. And that's why I use that small pan, because you know they're gonna stain their concrete, so they don't want us tracking. I'd normally mix it up right there, you know, it's just closer. But they're gonna stain their concrete and stuff, so we can't get nothing on it. But you know, I just mix it up outside, put it in that bucket there, and bring it in here. But mix it up in batches, because it's going to get hot and it'll get humid where you're working pretty quick, because this stuff is drawing moisture. So, and that's why you dope it in right there, so that concrete don't pull moisture straight out of your pan or out of your mud bed before you get done with it, and it helps it adhere to it. So And like I was saying, a lot of people want to take their trowels and pat it down, and you know, that's fine. But in a bendy trowel, you put too much weight on it, and then you know, if you're using that for your straight edge, or you're using that to finish the edge, you know, you're really in trouble. So that's why most times I'll use a stick or a 2x4. You know, I can find it where I put it. I use something like this right here. And I just pat it down, you know, pack it down. You know, if you want a good job, pack it down. Oh yeah, when you're using 2x4s and stuff, don't forget to take your trowel and cut behind it. Because if you don't, all that hard work you just did is for nothing. If you cut behind it, you can come back and straighten it up. But you gotta get that bond broke loose off that 2x4, or it's just gonna rip your screed work right off. That's all you gotta do. Just come out, just do that right there, and just pull it. There you go. Crap, I was showing you the wall. There you go. Just like that. Next side. Oh, another thing. You know, when you live in only 2x4s, if you're doing it this way, make sure that they're not leaning back that way. Because all it's going to do is make water run back that way. I forgot to tell you that earlier, but you see how it rocks? Yeah, you want to build that up. Just use some of your mud and level it up. And then make sure it's level across, make sure it's level this way and this way. And then you should be fine. Well, that's another side done. Now you just take your time and you get your foundation. Like I said, you get your foundation good. And hey, the rest of it's gonna work out for you. If you don't do a good job on your foundation, you're gonna have trouble with all your tile going up the wall and everything else. So take your time, get your foundation right. And even if you don't get it perfect, you can come back after it dries. I mean, just do your best, but you can come back after it dries and mix up a little Thinset and clean it up and Thinset it and dress it up. But it's a lot easier doing it now than later. Alright, so I got all my screeds around there, so I'm just go out here and mix up my mud and finish out the floor. A lot of you are probably wondering why that mud bed is so thick. It doesn't really have to be that thick. It was because you see that drain right there? You see that big dark spot right there? Well, that drain line come right up in the corner, and all I had was a hammer to beat it out with. My drain is actually a little higher than it normally would like for it to be, but it's gonna be fine because the curve's got to be raised up a little bit. So it's all gonna be fine, all gonna work out. But anytime you can help it, you don't have to do a mud pan that thick. And that slab's got a big swoop down in it, so it kind of goes down. You can see it if you see. It's really not quite that thick. It's built up down there because it kind of runs at an angle. It's about 3/16 out running down that way. So like I said, you don't have to do your mud bed that big. But my point is, all that's level. You can put a level on that. And all of it's level all the way around. So now when we get through doing our Kerdi, and the floor's getting Kerdi, everything's getting Kerdi. It's a full Kerdi system except for the mud pan. Because the showers I build are a lot bigger than them the little box showers that you can buy and put together. But if you get your foundation straight, and once you get your floor tile laid, you can come in and start doing your wall tile, and you won't have any problem. Like I said, if your foundation isn't straight, if your mud pan isn't straight, you're gonna catch all kind of trouble trying to get you keep your wall tile level. And then what's gonna happen is when you grout it, you got to cut that tile to match. You know, it'd be different if it's a 4x4 or a 3x3. But see, this isn't. This is a almost 5x7 shower. So you can put a flat edge all the way around, and then once we come in with our mud pan, we're going to slope that down. But that way you'll have at least 3 inches all the way around the wall. And this over here, I gotta put a block bench. I should have brought that out further, but there's gonna be a 6 or 7 inch inset right here, so it needs to be drained off as well, because this is gonna all have glass on it. So I can't even get it in the picture. So that's how big this shower is. And you can't get that out of a box. You have to hand build it. We still got to put the niche in and all that fun stuff, but that's for another day. All right, I'm gonna finish this up. All right, so starting to slope it down to the drain. Okay, so that's about what you're looking for right there. See that bubble? You don't want too much in it. Like I said, if you put too much drain on it, it'll pull all the water out of your P-trap, and then you'll start smelling your sewage. It's not a good thing. But what I do, considering I used that 2x4 as a curb, right? Everybody's probably gonna be like, well, you're gonna have flat edge right there, water's gonna sit. Well, yeah, but what I do, I take this little stick right here, and I do it like that, real lightly, circle motions after it kind of hardens up a little bit. And I get my slope in there. And what I do is I beat them edges right there off. That way, all the wall's kind of running at that angle, so it's not a flat spot and then down, so water won't sit up there. So, because you want all of it to run at an angle, but you won't. See that line running across there? It don't look straight, but it is. That's just mud built up on it. But you want to be able to set your floor down and then start right on top of that and then stick your tile down. And then your grout joint, you don't want your grout joint to be up and down, or having to cut your tile and all that to match it. Well, at least I don't anyway. I like all my stuff to look straight and look nice. Some jobs you can't help it, but a job this big, you really don't have an excuse. And unless you're just in a hurry, you can kind of fake it out, make it look, perfect. So, all right, I'll record more when we start doing the sluter. All right, so we're putting a bench in the shower. What I did, I just mortared some cement blocks down with some cap blocks on top of it, and then I'm just going to wrap it with Durock, mortar it on there, and then I got to Durock the curb, and then we're going to put Kerdi over everything. There's that aggravating drain. So I'll show you more here in a little bit. Alright, we got the floor down. It's already dried. We should come back the next day and just took a wet sponge and wiped the walls down, get all the dust off of it. And now we're fixing to take this band here. You can do it however you want to. This little band. There you go. Right there. You can do it however you want to. You can do all your walls and then come back and do your joints and seams. You got your bands and you got your corners. You can get your corners. We went ahead and bought pre-made corners, inside and outside corners. I just don't. I can make them, but I just don't want to spend the time doing it. It's just faster doing that. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and do my bottoms and do my corners, and then I'm going to put my walls up. I like it better when it seems like it's just draining out instead of seams on the inside. So I'll show you what I'm talking about here in a minute, but we're just gonna do that bottom corner all the way around, and the corners going up there, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. All right, so what you're gonna do, hold on a second. What you're gonna do is you're gonna put this band on here first. Now, it's not pre-folded. You have to measure it and cut it, and then set it up with unmodified Thinset like you do regular Kerdi. But what I wanted to show you before I put the band up, so you can see it, you see a corner right there? You can make them, but that's an inside corner. And it's already pre-made. It comes two to a pack. This is an outside corner, but the neat thing about the corners is, see, this is another inside corner right here, and see, I had to build a solid block bench. Well, let me show you. There you go. And you can reverse this corner and just stick it right up there, and so it just helps you. If you already got them already pre-bent and everything, it just helps you, save you a little bit of time. That's why we use them, because we're supposed to come in here and get all this done and get started, but it just it saves you a little bit of time. Alright, see, we've already done the bottom corners. I've already done the bench. Now we're just doing the walls, and then we'll come back and do the inside corners, and then we'll put all the little small corners on, finish up the curb and everything. So I think you can do it however you want to. I think it's everybody's preference. I do mine like this, that way it just makes sense to me. Water running off of the sheathing and hitting that, and then lapping down into the floor. That's just how I do it. So, and my drain's still covered. That'd probably be the very last thing I cut out when I get ready to do my floor. Which once I get all my waterproofing done, that'll be my next step. I'll be doing my floor. So I'm gonna show you how I put the Kerdi up. You thin-set it up. It needs to be an unmodified thin-set. So I'm gonna show you right quick how I do it on this last little bit of stretch before we finish up all our seams and corners. Thin-set needs to be it don't need to be mixed up like you're laying tile. It needs to be a little less thinner. But when you put it up there, it still needs to be able to have trail marks. So what I do, so you need to cover your floors. Cover your floors, make sure, because this stuff's going to get everywhere. What you're going to do is you're going to get it up here. A lot of times you can drop down and put a 2-inch lap on it, but I'm not going to do that on this one. So we're just going to get it up. Make sure your seams are good. Push it out. Push it out. You're not trying to push all your inside out. You're just trying to smooth it out and get a good bond. Just like that. Not that much pressure. That like it right there. Keep working it up. Okay. Make sure you work all the wrinkles out.
Hay tareas, tiene 3, 4. Si no, vamos a perder tiempo.
Okay, it's gonna come with one of these and one of these. But in this shower, you know, that's for up here. I'm gonna hand my these because we're gonna have to put this over here. We'll put this one over here. That's gonna be a handheld. So, and this isn't even gonna fit on there, so we're not even using it. Hey, we filled our pan up full of water. A lot of people don't do this. I just go ahead and leave it plugged. I don't even cut that out yet, but a lot of people don't do this, but I do it. It's better to fix it now than to get you toweled up and then fix it. You see that little bit of water there? That's not a leak, that's just where I had my hand and dripping off of it. But if you're doing that, you always mark all your wet spots, that way you know. And check around, like around the other walls and stuff, and that'll help you locate, just in case. And if you're doing everything right, you won't have any leaks. So today we've come in and we just started laying tile. Got started on the bottom, you know, just get our run and slope the top of that off. And then tomorrow we're gonna come in and cut that box. There, we gotta cut frame that box out and finish laying everything. And I didn't think nothing about recording, showing you how to get it level. But you have to get it level. That was the purpose in taking our time on everything earlier. Alright, this is how far we've gotten so far. It's just been a couple of days. We still got to put our trim out around that window. Trimming out around the box there. We got our bench and got a couple of pieces. And then the floor, finish our curb. But other than that, it's coming along good. Looks good. What I was going to mention is anytime you're doing a box or your window sills or your bench, then put a slight little slope on it so it don't hold water. Just common sense stuff. Another thing too, I don't know if you can see it, but right there, I don't know what happened, but my towel is not even. But this whole window sill here isn't even either, so we had to square the box up with our tile. We're going to have to build it up, but that's not even. Right there. There's another place right here. It didn't turn out too even for me. Right there, you see how my towel kind of run in on me right there? I'll straighten that up with my grinder, and I'll show you how to do that and not tear nothing up. Now you have to be careful because you can't go in too deep. You'll hit your waterproofing. But basically all you're doing is you're just gonna cut out and make a grout joint. You ain't got to go all the way through, but just enough to straighten up that line, make that line even all the way down. And the same thing running right there at the top. And the same thing at that window. Sometimes mistakes happen or accidents happen with your saw or your towel cutter, like that right there. It's just a little bit, but it needs to be fixed. So while your trim looks good. This out, we're going to use this grinder here. Mine don't have a guide on it or a guard. I strongly suggest if you're going to do this, you better be wearing some safety glasses and keep your guard on it. Because if it's the blade comes apart and it hits you in the head or hits you in the face, or you can get hurt pretty bad. But we're going to show you how we cut it out. You're going to get this. You're going to be recording this in here. Normally we do with a vacuum cleaner. And but today we just ain't cleaning the house. We got a little bit of dust. Ain't got too much to worry about it. Let me back up a little bit. Well, you don't do it all the time, but like I said, sometimes you get in a hurry, accidents happen. Like this windowsill here, it's windy, it ain't even, this out below. And then because of buildup, because of the waterproofing, I mean, but take your stone and stone it. Get it smooth. Just because you got it cut off don't mean you're done. Put the edges out there.
2,000 years later.
Alright everybody, this is finished product. We grouted. We're fixing to cut the fan on and give it a few minutes and let it haze over. And we're gonna wipe it down again. What I'll point out is, you see that drain there? I had it taped up, a little bit of grout get in there. And you take that drain off, clean that mess out because it looks terrible. Don't leave your job looking terrible. Anytime I'm doing showers and stuff, I'll use a grout enhancer or a grout additive. I'm kind of like that right there. And what that does is it just helps stain and mold and mildew. And you're gonna have that mess in a shower because it's wet all the time. And yeah, just take your time, grout it out, clean it up. You know, take your time. And I know a lot of people, towel setters especially, you know, look at them bullnose there and be saying I shouldn't have did it like that because you should use whole towel on the top. Well, truth of it is that's correct, but there's glass going on there, and I'd rather him be able to drill into that grout joint and set that glass on that grout joint than to drill through that porcelain and bust it and I have to sit up here for an hour fixing it. So, but you shouldn't be drilling into the curb nohow, but mostly you don't know what these folks are doing nowadays. Alright, that's finished.